Good morning. Welcome to another segment here during RHI's Giving Day. My name is Larry Dykes. I'm past chairman of the RHI Foundation Board. I am still a proud member of that board and will be as long as they'll have me. Lots of gratification and lots of neat things. This is a special place, and today we're going to spend time talking about a very special activity program that the Foundation Board supports. Before we get into that, we do want to recognize our champion sponsors. Wilson Kehoe Winningham. Bill Winningham is a longtime Foundation Board member. We have National Seating and Mobility, and then we have Dr. Dan and Cheryl Volosian. Dan is the CEO of RHI and is also a tremendous supporter of the foundation and the adaptive sports program. With me today is Mike Kempf, and Mike is one of the coaches in our power soccer program, the RHI Indy Inferno. So with that, Mike, just tell us a little bit about how you got involved in the program.
My involvement dates back to 2006. It was actually 2005 that I first became aware of the program. Our son Scott, at the time a freshman at Purdue, was in a summer intern program here in Indianapolis, and he had heard that there was a soccer tournament at the Fisher's Fieldhouse, and so we went out to see it. And we were absolutely stunned. We were amazed at what we saw. There were 20 teams from across the U.S. participating in this tournament. The program was probably in its first year in the Indianapolis area at the time. And the intensity of the program, seeing all the action, we were hooked right away. And that led to getting involved in the following year for the team. And shortly thereafter, I was asked to be an assistant coach. And I had no background in sports at all, so I needed the book, so to speak, to figure out how it all worked out. And so that led to where we're at today. So I've been an assistant coach, a head coach. I'm currently the assistant coach of the RHI Inferno team, and I've also done some refereeing along the way.
So you've been the guy yelling and the guy getting yelled at then as coach and referee.
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
No, just like home.
Well, obviously today we're going to focus on Mike and his team. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out we have lots of sports programs within adaptive sports. The power soccer, basketball, tennis, lacrosse, baseball. We also do multiple clinics each year, including a ski clinic, typically up at Morse, where we have paraplegics and quadriplegics who actually get out and water ski, and it takes a lot of volunteers to make that happen. We also are putting a special emphasis on disabled veterans. If you have a connection, some way to get to a veteran that is dealing with disability, we would love to have them take a look at the adaptive sports program so they can have an opportunity to be part of a team again and experience all those feelings.
And if I could add to that,
jump in.
Not only as a team member, but in the coaching roles as well. So there's room for them on both. As a veteran myself, we would welcome them as helping us coach as well as participate.
So please reach out to your networks on that. Now, how does involvement in our adaptive sports program help the athlete?
Well, first of all, let me talk about the parent side. If you have the parent of a disabled child, severely disabled child, you really question what the future holds in store for them. How will they be able to compete? How do we build the self-confidence and so forth? And so the program, that's where it begins, I think. I've seen players that were as young as in the third grade. In fact, when our son Scott started to play, he was, as I said, he was a Purdue student, and he came home after the second practice and he said, "I can't believe it." He said, "I've got a third grader telling me what to do." And he said, "I've got to listen to her because she knows and I don't." So my point, even at that young age. So, and in addition, I know of it's not only participating in the game that builds their self-confidence. I've seen players now go on to college that probably thought there wasn't room. I know of there are probably 4 that have completed degrees. There are 2 practicing former players that are practicing attorneys, and there's another one with his MBA, and I have a CPA on my team as well. And it's not only the coaches, it's the players helping the players see the other side of things, so to speak. And so I think it just builds their self-confidence and their self-esteem. The other thing I would say is many of these folks would have been stuck at home, and this is to quote the person who really brought power soccer to Indianapolis. She said, I had to do something to get my kids out from behind the TV, from behind the Game Boy, so to speak. And this has also brought them not only the sports side of it, but also the person. It's a how should I say? I'm struggling for the word. It's a social event, okay? And so now these players are coming out and meeting with people that are truly their peers. They may not be the same age, they may be much older, but it all blends in to make them feel more successful and more accepted.
Now, that's an interesting point that you shared with me a little earlier. Let folks know the age range on your team.
Well, the age range on our team is we have a 6-year-old and we have a lady who's over 50. And we've had a player that was in her 60s play. So you have to be at least 5 years of age to play, and there's no upper limit. And so again, it's a wide mix, 20s, 30s, and younger.
So a wonderful mix. You get the enthusiasm of the kid, if you will, and the kid gets to see an adult demonstrating that life goes on and it can still be fulfilling and all the things that they see in front of them.
That's right. And the other thing about the team is we consider we're a very diverse team, not only for male and female, so to speak, but also in the abilities. We have the absolute beginners that have never been in a power soccer chair before to what I would call the elite, well-skilled athlete on our team. So we have a pretty competitive team, and I believe that mix is important. First of all, we provide a gateway for someone who's new to come into the sport itself, and then they get to interface with some of the better players as well.
Well, tell the folks here some of the different tournaments that you've gone to, and besides the athletic aspect, the travel aspect.
Yeah, we've played, and most recently we've been in Fort Wayne, St. Louis. We've been in Ohio. In years past, we've been to Quincy, Massachusetts, Atlanta, and we've been to Minneapolis. So mobility is also another key to being able to participate, of course. But and they've seen other areas. I can remember being in downtown Boston at the Quincy game. We took the subway into Boston with the team, and they were able to view that. And even the St. Louis trip, you see the arch and what have you. So there are a lot of opportunities for that as well. We usually travel about 6 times a year.
Okay. And you do play some tournaments, some games.
Yes, we do. We have one tournament that we play that's in Indianapolis at the Incrediplex, usually in the December, January timeframe. And we'll have that posted. We'll have our schedule posted on the RHI website when that comes up.
Excellent. Take some time and go and see that if you can. You think about the difficulty, the skill level of soccer, add to that doing it in a power chair and the different techniques and skills that have to be learned. It's a neat thing to watch all of the adaptive sports programs.
And one thing, if I could add one other thing, this sport is not dependent on one size. The smallest person to the largest person can play power soccer. It's all in the ability of the individual to control the chair using the joystick. I've had players that use their hand. I've seen other players on other teams that use their foot with the joystick mounted for their foot. And I've also had a player on our team that was a quadriplegic who was brought to us through our RHI, who uses his chin to steer his wheelchair. And he's turned into being an incredible player.
And not to be crass, but these chairs cost thousands of dollars, so it is expense. That's why we need your help. So please, if you would, share these videos, share the RHI Day of Giving with your friends. Mike, wrap it up with what you get out of your
Well, I think
involvement.
by participating, I gain. You receive by giving is the best way I can put it. It's quite frankly quite enjoyable, and there's a lot of laughs to all that. So there's much personal satisfaction. Not that there aren't frustrations and stress during the games, but nevertheless, it's a great time, and I always walk away with a smile.
We hope you all receive by giving today. So we'll see you in and out.